to another episode of Guaire Dev. Today we're going to make the backend of the app we have been developed in the last episodes. We're going to make it using Java, and in the backend, or basically we're going to make a cloud application with a server that's going to have its own front end. So it's going to have a back end and a front end, but it's going to be the back end of the app. The front end of this application we're going to build is going to serve as a administrative tool. So we're going to have buttons and interactive tools that are going to let us manipulate the data, and that way we don't have to access the database directly, so we just have to click some buttons. It's going to have a login page, etc. And we're going to use JHipster, an application builder that's going to completely build an application really quickly. So it's going to be very nice. And let's get started. I have a plan over here, so we're going to use that. We're going to start drawing the diagram of the database we're going to build, basically. So let's start. Let me see if you can hear me okay. Testing, yes. Okay, perfect. And to do that, I'm going to draw a diagram. Let's start with an empty tab over here, and with sitemap. Okay, perfect. So basically, we're building a backend to store our recipes, but we are also using a login and a session for each of the users. So in that sense, we're going to build a user entity that's going to contain our username. It's going to contain a avatar. Avatar. It's going to contain the email, for example. But for now, it's just going to be empty. Oh well, yes. Let's make the email also in the front end, and that's the basic information of the user. We're also going to make an entity called recipe. Recipe. It's going to contain the title, the image. It's going to contain the description of how to cook it. Also the city of origin, and we're also going to add some other stuff, like maybe date of creation. We're going to also add some other stuff. We're going to add some likes and comments, like in Instagram, but we're going to add it as a relationship. This is the user related to the recipe, so each user is going to create a recipe, and the user which created it is going to be attached to it. So that's the way in the database we're going to do it. And for the comments and the likes, maybe, yes, let's do that. We're going to create a comment which is going to contain the text of the comment. It's going to contain a user, which is going to be this relation over here, and the recipe, right? And for the likes, the recipes are going to receive likes from the user as well. Like, let's put a heart over there. And we're going to also add the user and the recipe. So the recipe is going to be over here. And also the user is going to be, oops, related to this table. So this is a very basic database, and also pretty nice. It contains the user, the recipe, and some features related to the recipe and the user, which are the comments and the likes, basically. So that's what we're going to build today. And to do that, we're going to use JHipster. We have talked about JHipster in the past, in the stream. It's a great tool to build applications quickly, very fast, and the result is also cutting edge in relation to the technology it uses. Let me show the JHipster slides quickly. Okay. And has a modern web application development. It's a modern web application development tool. Uses all the latest technologies like HTML5, CSS3, JavaScript in the front end. It's scalable, has high performance, it's secure as well. It has many tools, and also it utilizes nice trends and standards as well. So if you have a team to work in this application, a large team of several developers, it's developed in a way in which each team member will be able to cooperate thanks to the standards and the way in which it's developed. It contains several components separated in a MVC design pattern. It uses JPA, for example, in the backend, NPM for package management. It has a command line. It's pretty nice. I use it a lot, and it has helped me create applications really fast. Just using a couple of command lines, commands, you're able to build complex applications with several with a lot of functionalities, really good. It uses Maven or also Gradle in the backend for Java. It uses Spring MVC, REST, so you can build RESTful services in Java. Spring Data JPA to connect to the database. It uses ORM design pattern in which you create Java objects, and the Java objects are translated to the database completely. So it builds the database for you. You tell the application builder, for example, you need to build a user entity. Well, not in this case. The user entity is created by itself because it also builds a login and a a session management system entirely, so you can log in just by creating the application. So you don't have to create a login screen, a login service, a session management. So it builds it all from scratch for you. And so that's why I recommend it, because it also saves a lot of time in building those basic things you also always need in an application. So it's really nice. Uses Liquibase as well to update the database and build the tables. JPA with Hibernate, and with JPA and Spring Data you can create query methods that, by the way in you write the methods, it builds the queries to the database. I will show that later. For example, you need to find all the users with the username Bob. You just create find by username and you add a string Bob. It's really nice, because it saves a lot of time when you need to build the queries for the database. You can use MongoDB as well. I'm going to use what was I'm going to use? I'm going to use PostgreSQL for this project. I like to use SQL for my projects. I've used MongoDB. I like it a lot. But in the way which we are structuring this project, I'm going to use SQL. So yes, pretty nice. It's very complete. Has a lot of great tools that are going to help you run the project, including testing as well. Has backend and front-end testing, very powerful for when you are working in a team or when you have many features, and if you add a new feature you don't want to damage another feature, for example, or another screen. That happens sometimes. It has a tutorial in this webpage as well. You can install JHipster and then you just run this command and it helps you build the application. So let's start. Let's build our application. And I'm going to create a folder for the backend inside of what we already have, so you can have it in the same GitHub repository. I'm going to share it as well. You can find it in the description after we finish this stream. It's the same as the last repository, so if you have it already, you can download it. So let's find it over here. Here we are. Perfect. This is the folder, and we're going to create a new folder here called Backend. So we're going to go to this folder and we're going to let me install the latest version. I like to use the latest version for everything, so I don't get behind. JHipster generator, I think. Let me see. I think it's JHipster generator. Let me see. Let me go again to this slide. Generator JHipster, yes. It's the other way around. Generator JHipster. So let's install it. It's going to download the latest version. And after that, we are going to use the command line to create the project. Now let's see the slides over here. We use this command to create the project, and after that we use this command to run it. But we're not going to run it just at the beginning. We're going to create the entities. When we're going to create the entity called recipe. So when we create that, then we're going to create something like a user details item, because I don't like to edit this entity generated by JHipster. I prefer to manipulate an external entity here, like user details, to contain the user information. Details. And I'm going to add here the avatar, the email, and some other stuff maybe. What other things? Let me see how this is going. Oh, it's almost there. And in here we're going to create the folder of the project. Okay, it's done. So let's run this command, JHipster. Oh dear. Oh, let me install Geoman. Install Yo. I think it's that, right? Recommended that? Yes. Yo. Let me install globally, because I think, yes, I didn't mess this up. So let me install it globally. Geoman. It was asking for that, Geoman. So that's what I'm installing now. And of course, if you by any chance have any questions, let me know in the chat. Okay, let's try again. Oh my god. Let me see. Let me close this. Let me open again. And of course, it doesn't work. Let us Google. I like to show that in stream in case we have any problems. Okay. Let's see. What is this? Let's see. Oh, it's something with the Node version. And this is not a Mac, I'm in Windows. I'm on Windows. So maybe Yes, I'm not in a Mac, I'm in Windows, so let's see. Oh, it's because of the new version of Node. No problem. So let's add that into this folder. Okay, let's go here. Let's see if I can find that folder in Windows. Let's open this up. And let's see if I have something like Node over here. Let's see. App data, Node modules. We're solving common problems we get when we develop using some libraries. Sometimes when a tool uses another tool, they have problems with the new versions of one tool or everything. But if you pray to Saint Google, he will guide you. So let's go to npm node modules and generate. Here it is, generate.jhipster. Let's go to package.json and add this. Okay, adding this. Sports. Okay. Exports. Okay, it doesn't have any namespace, so that's hopefully this is the solution. Let's see. Package not exported. Still the same problem. Oh, here's the placement in which I have to add it. Okay. Let's go here. Let's go there. Package JSON exports, and let's add that over there. Okay, maybe this will help us, or maybe not. Let's see. Now it works perfect. So did you see what I did? I googled the exact problem I was getting. I found that it was I found a solution for Mac, not for Windows. I tried to find the folder, but since I didn't find the folder, it was here, the folder that I needed to edit, the file I needed to edit. So I went there, added this solution, and it worked, thankfully. Thanks Google and thanks GitHub. GitHub community, it's awesome. Okay, so let's start building the application. This screen over here is the configuration screen for when we are going to create this application. So oh my, well, no problem. If you have any problems with the Java version, I'll create another application because it's supporting only from Java 11, and for some reason it's only taking the 1.8. I do have I think I have the latest 18, the Java. Let's add it to the path just in case, because I don't want any problems. System environment variables, environment variables, path. I have Python, maybe I have Java. Aha, this is a problem. I'm using JRA 1.8. Let's change it. Let's see, program files. Oh, this is not the one. This PC, program files, Java. I only have that one. Well, no problem. I'm not going to install another version for now. Let's go with that. Oh, this is it. This is the one. The JDK, not the player. So let's do that. C, program files, open JDK. And here it is. I have the Java 11, so that's better. Let's click OK, OK. Let's close this prompt and open a new one. So yes, we're good to go this way because I don't want any library problems, compatibilities, etc. So let's do this. So when we run jhipster this time, it's not giving that error. Oh, well, no problem. It's using this one. Or maybe, let's try another thing. Path. Let's try this. And change it to the JRA we have with the latest version. Program files, open JDK. Ooh, it reconnected, thankfully. And the JDK, I don't know why I can't edit it. Maybe let's change this. System environment variables, settings. Oops. Oh, here it is. And this one, let's change it to the latest one. Oh my god, otra vez, again. See, program files. Open JDK. This one. Perfect. Excellent. Now I think we're good to go. The only thing I don't have perfect for this is the npm, the node version, but we'll manage with that. So let's open another prompt, and now we're ready to start building the application. I think. Yes, now we're fine. Oh no. Well, let's leave it like that. Okay, we're going to build a monolithic application, right? And the name of the application is going to be Global Recipes Backend. Nope. Oh, well, let's leave it. Okay. And the name is going to be com.guire. Global recipes. In here, we're going to select the way in which we do the session authentication. We're going to use Java Web Tokens, and there are several options. We can use OAuth or HTTP session, but I'm going to use Java Web Tokens because I have a way to connect the app to this using this method. I can also share it. I have it on my GitHub, and it's pretty easy to use, so let's pick that. And for this, we're going to use SQL. We can use Mongo or Couchbase. Those are pretty nice. and we're going to use PostgreSQL. We can also use a database for the different database for the development environment. These ones are in memory and get deleted when you stop the application, but we're going to use the PostgreSQL database, the same as the production one in this case. We can use cache as well. We're going to use Maven to build the project. You can use Gradle as well. And I think those are several items you can use. We're going to deploy this application into Heroku. And if we use Elasticsearch, we have to install another feature. And I think it's not free, so I'm not going to use this Elasticsearch. Elasticsearch is pretty nice for search optimization and also for query building. It's pretty nice. It's pretty nice. And we're going to use React for this case, since we are making a React Native app. We're going to use React for this generation. Admin UI, and let's pick some color. Let's see if we can use something quartz, for example. Yes, I like the quartz, that one. Primary color. Internationalization lets you have several languages in the front end. Since this is a administrative tool, we don't need several languages for now, but I think we can manage. So let's add no, and the original language is going to be English. This is for testing, JUnit for the backend and Jest for the front end, but we're not going to use anything else. We select no. In this case, we can select several pre-generated applications or tools, like for example, if you want to have a PayPal button, for example, it's able to install it easily for you. So we're going to select no. So as you can see, it created several folders and files. This is the package.json file. You can see you can add your own packages or libraries here if you want to add them to your React project. This is for the front end. And in this pom.xml file, you are able to add all the Java libraries you want. In our first episode, we added a neural network library called Neuro. You can watch that episode in which we created a artificial intelligence from scratch. And well, not from scratch, we created the neural network from scratch. The library internally was the one that created the code for it. And what else? Let's see if this is going fine. It's still creating some stuff. And in the meantime, I'll be back. Let me do a quick break, and I'll be back in a minute. Okay, I'm back, and this has finished building the project, and let's open it with IntelliJ IDEA. So for doing that, we're going to be opening this. Let's see if we can refresh this. Okay, refreshed it, and in here we have a folder that we're going to refresh as well. Where's the backend folder? Ah, this is not the one, sorry. This is the one, global recipes. So here it is, backend. Let's open that. And we have here a regular Maven project. And in here, it's going to import all the libraries and stuff. So let's open this file over here, pom.xml. And let's see if this is able to read it. You can click this button at the right called Maven, and if the project is not synced, then you can click this button over here and it will check it out. It's going to download all the folders, all the libraries, sorry. Well, in some folders physically. And after that, you can check the project structure. You can see this is a JDK 18, so it's fine. For running it. Let's check this, and it's done. Okay, perfect. So we have here, let me make this bigger. You zoom in. Okay, increase font. Alt Shift point. Okay, perfect. So in here we have, oh wow, although this didn't grow in size, but no problem. In here you can see the project structure. You have a main folder in which you have a Docker folder for if you want to deploy this into a Docker image. It's pretty cool that way. This is the Java part of the backend. You can run the project by running this Java file over here. Let's do that. You can just click this play button over here. In the meantime, in here you have some resources and configuration files. You have internationalization messages, for example. And in here you have the configuration for the database, the development part. It gave some errors, but we're going to fix that because we haven't told the application to connect to a specific database, etc. We're going to create that, but we see it's running without any other kind of weird problems. In here you can see the database. These are the files that are being created for the database. In here you have the front end for this application. It's not the Java, the React Native app we created. It's just a React front end for this administrative tool we're creating. You can see here all the folders, and with that we're now going to create our database. We're not going to create the tables like this. We're just going to create an empty database, and that way this application is able to automatically build all the tables we're going to create. So it's going to save us a lot of time. And okay, this is the server, and let's create a database called global recipes. global recipes, and we are done. After that, we have to create over here that connection string. So we have global recipes, database, the username is Postgres, and I have just a simple password over here for testing purposes, and that way it's able to connect. But we're not going to run the project yet because we are going to create these entities. Let's create them. How do we do that? Well, we run this command, jhipster entity recipe, right? We're going to create that table in the database by using a command line. And not only that, we're going to create the front end and the back end items for that. It's pretty cool. It's going to create it over here in this folder in Java, and in the front end in everything. It's going to create the services, the RESTful services, everything. So right now we only have user and some other stuff for that user, right? And you can see it has the ID, the login is the username, has the password in a hash, encrypted, first name, last name, email. Oh, it already has all this, so we don't need to create that. Image, it has an image. How cool is that? That's pretty nice, pretty nice. So let's do that. Okay, let's create recipe. So the fields are going to be title, string. You specify here the data type, validation. Yes, the title is required, as you can see. We're going to add another field. Let's put this smaller so we can see that. So it's going to be, the other is going to be the image, right? And you tell it here that we have a blob, an image. It's not required. Another field is going to be description, and we're going to use a big text for that, so we can add here a big text file. No rules, no validation. We're going to add also a city, just a string, not required. And also we're going to add a date, a creation date, and it's going to be zone date time. Yes, zone date time, because it has a date and a time stamp. So let's say yes to that. No more fields, so we finish by pressing no more. No relationship. Oh yes, we're going to add a relationship to user. So the other entity is user. In this part, we're adding relationship to other tables. So since we are going to add a user here, let me add it here so we don't forget it. Creator, which is going to be related to the user table. User, this is the creator, many to one, because many recipes are going to be for one user. And do you want to add any validation rules? Yes, this is maybe not yet. No other relationships. This is some other configuration. This is not read-only. We're going to add pagination links for the front end, so you can see if you have 100 users, it's going to divide the list of the users is going to show by pages, by 20 users per page, for example. You can have an infinite scroll for that, or pagination links. I like pagination links. And this is going to modify some files. So if you press A, it will force every file, all of the files, A for all. So it will pressing A. If you have modified the code of any page, then in that part you should be careful, because it can delete all your code. So what I do is sometimes I copy the file, let it overwrite it, and I pick and choose the things I created. Sometimes I do that, or sometimes I ignore the overwriting process and just manually add the new things. I can do that as well. So we created that entity called recipe. You can see it here. We created the Java file, the Java domain file, with an ID, with a title, image, description, city, creation date. It created the database XML files for it. It creates also some testing data that we're going to delete, because we're not going to use that for now. It also created the front end for it. So you can see entities, recipe over here. It created all the React files for listing it, editing it, deleting it, editing, sorry, a lot of stuff. And after that, we're going to create the other entities. We're going to create a comment. This we're not going to use because it's already present in the user table, so we don't need it. But we're going to create the comment and a like entity. So let's create the comment. The hipster entity comment. So we're not, oh yes, we're going to add a field called text, and it's going to be a blob. It's required, and we're not going to add any more elements. Oh yes, a date, it will be fine. Date. This timestamp. Not required. No other fields, and we're going to add relationships now, and it's going to be for user, creator, many to one, no, and the other relationship is going to be the recipe we just created. So a recipe can have many comments. Recipe, many to one, title, yes, no other relationships. Nope. And we add pagination just like the other one. All. And there it goes. It's creating all the files. When it's finished, creates the comment entity with the text, a date, a creator, and a recipe. And after that, we're going to create the last entity that's going to be the likes. So the likes only have a user and a recipe. So let's create that. It's pretty quick. like. So when a user clicks like, we're going to save it in that part of the database, in that table. So let's add a field. Oh, no field, sorry. It doesn't have any field. Let's add maybe a date stamp, just for management purposes. No one's going to see the date of a like, but maybe for administrative purposes it could be helpful. Oops. It's timestamp. No validation, since it's not that important. No more fields, and the relationships, those are important, so it's going to be with user, many to one. Validation, for now we're not going to add any validation. And the other entity is going to be recipe. Many to one as well. And title as the label we're going to show in the front end. And the validation, yes, this one is going to be required, and no other relationships. No pagination links like the other ones. And it's going to create all the files. We press A to tell it to overwrite all the files, A for all. And finally, over here, you can see it created a like entity with a date, a user, and a recipe. So we successfully created this database that contains a user, a recipe, comments for the recipe, and likes for the recipe. So let's run this project and see how it goes. Gave me a lot of errors. Let's see how this got generated, because recipe ID, this is okay, I don't know what's the problem. Let's see. Oh, I have to delete this as well. Let's delete this. Save it. Comment. Gave me a lot of errors, but we're going to fix that. Just give me a sec. Recipe. It wasn't able to create the database. Gave me a lot of problems, but we're going to fix that. Let's delete the database. Let's see what it created. If it created something. Tables. It created the tables. Just the recipe one. Like and authority. Let's delete this database for now. Let's create it again. Global recipes. I think we need to create some things on the other, in the recipe object, recipe entity, but I'm not sure. Let's see. Oh, it ran fine. Perfect. This time it ran fine. Great. Because I was starting to think something was wrong, but because I've used this for a long time, the first time I got an error. But sometimes when you run the project, as I did before creating the entities, the database gets glitchy. But this time it ran fine. Perfect. Okay, so it's running the backend part, the Java part. We're going to run now the front end part. So for that, we're going to run this command npm start, and it's going to compile all the JavaScript files, all the TypeScript files, and it's running great. Perfect. So this is the pre-generated screen JHipster gives you. It's pretty nice. I selected the quartz skin. It's pretty nice. I like it. It's beautiful, and it gives you some pre-generated users that are admin, which has admin privileges, or user, which has user privileges. So we can sign in over here using that information. Admin as a username, admin password. You sign in, and you have, just like that, just pressing some commands in a console, you have a complete application with user authentication. To me, that's so incredible. It has always blown my mind. And you have recipe, comment, and like. And also this skin is beautiful. I like it a lot. It's really nice. So for recipe, we can create a new recipe. For example, enchiladas, delicious enchiladas. Let's find an image, enchiladas. This one's pretty small. Let's select this one, it's bigger. You can save this image over here. Let's check that out. Let me see if that folder is clean so I can show it in the stream. Let me clean that folder, because sometimes I want just to show a clean folder. Let me change some files over here so I can overwrite them. And we're good to go. Okay. Oh, I need to save it again. Okay, let's save it again. Perfect. So we have over here an enchiladas image. Perfect. Let's add that to our recipe. We go here, we go to downloads, we select enchiladas. The description is, you cook enchiladas and enjoy. Well, let's copy a real recipe. Why not? Enchiladas recipe. Say hello to Model Town favorite chicken enchiladas. Has everything but the recipe. Recipe steps. Okay, awesome. This is the one. This is the way. We copy here the ingredient list. Steps to make it. Serve and enjoy. Perfect. The city, Mexico City. Well, I think it's from Mexico. I'm not sure. And for now, the creator, the user, It's manually selected, but we can automatically select your own user. And when we save it, you can see it's saved with no problems. It's pretty quick, very nice. And we have all the information here. You have the image, the text, the title. It gives you an ID as well, timestamp, the creator, it was me, the admin, etc. And if you want to check the likes, for example, we can create a new like for the admin and for the enchiladas recipe. So we have one like, for example. We can create another one for another user for the recipe enchilada, and we have 2 likes. And the comment, wow, excellent recipe. I will try it out with my poor husband. Well, with my lucky husband. It's better. And creator is going to be user, and the recipe is going to be enchiladas. So we're creating a new comment for the recipe enchiladas, and the creator is the user. We can create another user, for example, in here in the user management. We create a user called Pedrito, first name Pedro Perez. The email is pedro@gmail.com. He's going to be, you can select the profiles over here. It's not going to be an admin user, just a normal user. And if you want to create another comment or another like, just create a like. And the user is going to be, it's not getting all the users. Why was that? Oh, maybe because it's not created. Oh, it didn't create it. You can create it in the database, maybe. Let's see if we can create another user over here. Register, like this. Okay. Let's see if it was created successfully. I love this skin, it's really beautiful. And let's see if you use, yes, right now it was created. If we create it in the registration screen, it gives no problems. Because I think the problem was because the email was not sent, but no problem. We activate the user, and if you go to a like section, we can create a like for that user. Perfect. Pedrito, perfect. Recipe, and this recipe has 3 likes now. The recipe enchiladas has a like from admin, user, and Pedrito. And with that, we finish this stage of the backend. We're going now to connect the app to this, and we're going to show this recipe with the screen and everything into our app. And we're going to do it after this small break I'm going to make. So be right back. Stay tuned. Okay, we're back. So let's run our app to see the state in which we are on currently. So we have the code here for the app. Let me zoom in again. I think it's this one. No. I think this one, no. View, layout, appearance, zoom in, control, equal. I feel like someday I will remember it from memory, but I never remember which one the editor uses. So let's create another prompt, another command prompt. Zoom in. Let's go to this folder over here, the front end for this application. So to run it, we do this command npx react native run Android. In the next episode, we will be running on a Mac, so we will be running stuff on an iOS emulator. So it's running everything to build the project. Local recipes. It's the bundler. Awesome. So we have some test recipes that are saved not in the backend, as we are going to need it, but they are saved on the cell phone, on the device. And when we click this, all the information over here is also from the backend, not the device. So we're going to change that. What I also wanted to do was to see, well, it doesn't have an image yet, but we're going to do that next. All right, so to connect to our backend, we're going to use a project I have shared in the past. I think this is the one. This is a project I created for us to be able to connect to the database. It uses also a singleton, so we can copy this information over here. It has this old library though. I have to edit this. Let me change that in here, because, well, I can change it later, because we can't use that. This has been deprecated. So we have to use this one instead from the community. I think it's here, global recipes, yes. This one, async storage from this community project. It's React Native, async storage. Because it has been deprecated in the original React Native package, so we can't use it anymore. So let's copy this. These are basic configuration steps to connect. So we're going to use, for now, this local connection to the project that's currently running in our computer. This one is going to be global recipes. That's the name. And this is some prefix we add to the links to be able to get some information from the server. And this is also other information. This is the token we use to connect, the user we use to connect, if the user has been edited, and a WebSocket, which we don't have this time because we're not using WebSockets. I have used WebSockets in the past for doing, for example, live chats, or live updates in your app. It's pretty powerful. It's really powerful, really nice, because you receive real-time updates from the server, and it's really nice, really nice. In this case, we're not using this name as session, but we're using instance, but no problem. So this is the login function, register function, also an account function that enable us to use the session information, login, etc. So we're going to copy that, and we're going to paste it over here. And instead of session, I think it's this session over here. Instead of session, we're going to use instance. So we're going to replace that everywhere. And instead of this out session object we have over here, we have another name for that. Let me check that name. We have a name, global recipe. Yes, global recipe service. So we're going to change this name, alt session, for global recipe. This is the same singleton I always use. Pretty nice. Oh, it doesn't have it, so let me see where what is this auth instance? Auth instance. Oh, I see. This auth instance is what I changed with the session name, so I need to change this into this. So now we're running fine. Let me check the code so I can explain it to you. So when we log in, we call this with a username and a password, right? And we execute a fetch to our server that's going to do a pre-authentication, and it's going to give us a token. So we're going to save that token into our singleton object. If you want to know what singleton is, you can check our last episode. It's a design pattern that let us have only one instance for an entire class. So every time you call this class, you're going to receive the same object every time. So that way you can have like a soul, an application soul that's non-duplicable. You can duplicate it, you can't create another one. So you always receive the same object. So you can have like a soul in your application, which has all the application attributes like the username, some connections, etc. We can separate the connections for another object, but I have it all in the same object because this is a pretty small application. You won't have any problems with that for now. In the future, yes, I do recommend separating this instance with something like what's the name? I forgot the name. It's been a while since I've used it, but it's a connection manager that helps you. Redux. It's called Redux. So you can use Redux outside of this file to execute all the connections to the server. So that's a better standard currently in the work environment. In every company that uses React Native, everyone uses Redux. So I recommend it a lot. Okay, so when we log in, we create a token from the server, or we receive a token from the server. We save it in our instance, and then we do the login with that token. If the server receives the same token, the server will say, okay, this is the same person I was talking to before, so let's do the login successfully. If the login is successful by receiving this username and password, let me see the username and password. Oh no, at first this is the one, username and password, and you get the token. And after the token, we do the account, which is this service that uses this token to complete the login. So the login is done in 2 steps. If the same token is received by the server, then it gives a response, a successful response, and it will give you more user information. So this response JSON has the username, the avatar, the email, all the stuff from the user, and also the token. So every time we connect to the application or to the server, the backend server, we're going to use this token. If by any chance this token is expired, then we need to log in again. So this token is like a object, like a credential we're going to show the server, and if the server finds it okay to use it, it will log in you automatically. But if this token is corrupted or different of what the server has in the database, then it will log you out and require you to log in again. So you can generate another new and good to go token. So yes, that's basically it. That's the login function. The register function is similar. It gives you the username, password, and email to the server. If the email is already present in the database, it gives you the email exists error, or if the username already exists, it gives you a login exists error. And this account function is also a function to get the user's information. I don't think we're going to use this yet, but yes, that's basically it. Let's try it out. So we're going to log out from this. Let me see if I can log out. Let's add a button over here to log out of the application, so we can start from scratch. Let's see, over here, and this is the settings part. Let's add a button over there so we can log out from the app. And on there, put over here. Perfect. Flex 1, oops, with 100%. Connection successful. Oh, awesome. I was disconnected for a while, sorry guys. Okay, so we just added the width minus the margin on the left and the right, 15 plus 15, 30. And we're going to log out over there. Log out. And we're also changing that color to red. Maybe not that red, but let's pick a color picker. Yes, this red is better. Awesome. So if we click this, we're going to log out. So let's create that function. Log out. Log out. Equals. And we're going to delete everything. So we're going to use these global recipes. Log out. And we're going to create that as well. So over here, and at the end over here, log out. We're just going to delete everything from the database or from the cell phone. We have users, user recipes. Well, we're not going to use this anymore because we're going to get the recipes from the server, but we're going to delete it for now because we have it in the cell phone, but I don't think we need it in the future. So we have user. Oh, this user store token. This is better. This is a better name for it. So let's do that. So this is like a standard for using the async storage, in which you separate it by stores. So I think that's okay. See if I have any user over here. Okay. And the token as well, we're going to delete. Oh, that's great. Perfect. I need to create as well here token that's the token we're going to save from the server. And what else? So let's do this async. So when we finally log out, we return something like true or false. But yes, that's basically, we're going to delete everything. Store token, recipe store recipe. I think we can add here null. I think. Let's try it. Global recipes. Let's see if we can reload over here. Oh, well, it deleted it. It did. And we have to navigate. I don't have a navigator over here, but we can do that outside because this is not where we should navigate. So log out, and here in the settings, instance log out, okay, and then let's add here a return as well. Then oops, result, okay, if we logged out successfully, then we navigate back to the start. Navigation.navigate to login screen. Let's try it. This is a dummy login for now, but we're going to do something nice. We can see it deleted everything successfully. Okay. Okay, we have an error over here. Let's see. Let's try this again. Oh, I think what's the problem? I think here in login, what's this? Okay, somehow quicker, but we're going to fix all of those errors. Okay, log out. Oh, it's capital L, sorry. Capital L login. Let's see. Awesome, now it works. So let's try it again. Maybe I have some error somewhere, but we're gonna fix it. Login. Log out. Perfect. So we logged out. And we're going to log in to the server. So to do that, we have this over here, this login. So instead of using this one, we're going to use this one over here. Guaire recipes.login. I think it has a password and username as well. Yes, username and password, perfect. So now it's not very different, but we're going to delete this one for now. So in here, in the login screen, instead of using this instance, we're going to use the global recipes class. So let's see, what do we get if we add admin. Okay, network request failed. Let's see the exact problem. But the good thing is it gives the information. So let's see what's the problem. Okay. Oh, remove item. Let's do that. Let's do this because we can't use in async storage, we can't use null or undefined values. Instead, we have to use this remove item method, so it's safer. So instead of doing this null, we're just going to remove the item. So let's do that. And let's see what's the problem. I think it's a connection problem, and I think I need to do enabling this project so we can connect here, or another thing. Let's see what the link is. Let's try it. So let's see if I'm printing anything over here. We're not. Okay, let's print it. Let's check this. Console.log that information, and let's see if that link is correct, because sometimes it isn't. I didn't save it, sorry. Let's reload just in case. Let's log out. See, perfect. User store is null. Okay, let's check this out to see if this link is correct. And if it isn't, I think we need to change something with the connection. The link is fine. and let's see if the server is receiving something. Let's check it out. Oh, the server is not even connecting to it. So I think localhost network request failed. Why might that be? Let me get my link. Let me restart this and get the exact link from. Oh, I know. I think I know. I think I need to use this link over here. Let's try this. /API. Maybe this is the correct link. Okay, perfect. This is another error, and you can see that by using this link over here, we're able to connect. And authenticating admin, so it received the username, and we logged in successfully, but we had an error in the front end, so we have to fix that error. I think it's some variable out. Okay, property out doesn't exist. Where is that? Out doesn't exist. Let's see that. Oh, it's this. Instead of out, we need to use our object over here, which is called global recipes. Let's change one by one because I don't know if I'm doing this correctly. Let's see. No, this one is not. You see, I almost made a terrible mistake. So this one we're going to skip. Let's just copy it manually. Register. Perfect. I think we're gonna make it now. Login. Oh, let's reload. Admin. It logged in. I think it logged in, but it gave us an error. I don't know why. It logged in. Okay. It even gave us all the information from the user, you see? Login admin, it's an administrator. ID 1. First name administrator, etc. So it's logging in, but it's giving us an error. I don't know why. Let's see where is that error exactly. So after it prints the user, so it's here, the error. So let's do some debugging over here. good to go. Oh, I think this is the problem over here. So response JSON and response JSON dot logging. Yes. Good to go, and we're going to do a good to go 2 over here. So let's try that again. Logging. Oh, we have to reload. We're logging in successfully, but the front end thinks we are having an error, so let's fix that really quickly. Okay, so we have the good to go, and after that we have console instead of console. So my bad. Let's reload. Admin. And let's check this out. We have good to go 1 and good to go 2. So I don't know what's the error. Oh, I think the error is over here in logging. Yes, it's here. It's here. So we have to delete this, and we're fine. So that was the problem. So click this, and we're fine. Perfect. So we're logging in successfully. We're good to go. And if we click here, we need to add the correct information. So we're going to go to that profile page, and instead of showing username, we're going to show login. And we have admin over here, you see? So if we change that, we can also add some more information over here, like the first name and last name. First, second, first name and last name. You see, administrator. And if we change, let's log out. And if we change that information from the server, if we go over here and we change our information, like for example Jesus Viloria, we save it. Oh, jesus@gmail.com. Right? If we log in again, then we have Jesus Viloria. That's pretty cool. That's awesome. All right, so let's do something else. Let's change, well, not yet. We don't need to change this name here yet, but we're gonna do it. We're gonna show at least the recipes first, because that's the coolest thing we can do now. Let's first, what was I going to do first? Well, let's get all the recipes, no problem. So we're going to show every recipe from all the systems. So for that, we're going to change this get all recipes function, and instead of getting it from the device as we were doing before, we were getting it from the cell phone. We're not going to get it from the server. So let's do that. But first, let me get a small break. I drank too much water, so I need to go to the restroom quickly. So be right back. Stay tuned. are back. So now we're going to show in the screen all the recipes, but from the server. So how do we do that? Well, basically, we fetch like this. I think we need the token as well. Like this. So let's copy this. Let's copy this. And I will show you how to create a link that will work. Oh, sorry. The microphone. Sorry about that, guys. What I was saying is we're going to get all the recipes from the server, and for that we're going to use this fetch operation over here, and instead of account I think we need to, oh, we have it over here. If we go here to our backend project and we click here the web.rest folder and we go to recipe resource, we find here this link. This API link is the one we already have over here. At the top we have this complete link over here with the server route, the port, the IP address, the port, and this API prefix, right? This is this prefix over here, API, and if we write /recipes in the type post, then we can get all the recipes. So if you write over here recipes, oops, and instead of get we do, no, it's not post, sorry, this one is create recipe, sorry, my bad. This one is update recipe. You do the same thing, recipe /id of the recipe. For example, recipe /1 will update the recipe of ID 1, and if we go here we can get one recipe, and if we go here we get all the recipes. So this is the correct one, get all recipes, and it's /recipes of the type get. So if we let this stay like that, like with get, no problem. So let's run it. So we get this, let's convert the JSON object as well. And see what we get. Let's see, what do we had over there at first? Oh, sorry, let's go over here. Get all recipes. Oh, I just returned an object. Okay, perfect. An object list. So I return object JSON. Return response JSON. So let's do that to see if this works. Let's see the output screen over here. Okay, we got an error. It's logging again. Okay, we got an error while getting the recipes. Property, oh my, yes, my bad. Let this equals this. This variable over here wasn't declared, so it crashed. But I think it's fine now. Let's see. No, it's not fine yet, but let's see again. Okay, gave another error. see what the problem is over here. Token of undefined. Oh, it's undefined. It's pretty bad. Oh, of course. My bad. So when I initialize, I also need to add the token. So store token. Yes, because I need the token in the object. So token stop token. Perfect. Yes, because I wasn't saving the token into our object, so maybe that's the problem. Yes, now it's working. Perfect. Yes, when I initialize this object, I was only initializing the user, but not the token. And we need the token for everything. If we need to connect to that server, that token is our credential for the server. If we make a connection to the server without the token, the server is going to say, no, I don't know who you are, you need to log in again. So we can generate another token. But if we weren't saving it, we weren't using it. So the server always thought, who is this person? I don't know him. You need another token, another login. So that was a problem. So let's restart this. And it's giving us some problem when we try to log in. Let's try this again in our in the splash screen as well. So let's check this out. So where is this problem? Let's see. We have an unhandled rejection, unhandled error. Let's see. Token A, where is that? Oh, we haven't reloaded this. Sometimes I forget to reload it. Okay, we're still getting the error. Let's see. This is the splash screen. Let's delete this to see if we still get the error. Yes, we do. Save this. How strange, huh? Maybe in the initialization we have the problem. Token. Oh, this is the problem. Yes. This is the problem. We don't even need that. So I think it's going to work now. Perfect. Now it works. So let's change this login. Admin login. And let's see if we can reload this without any problems. I think that is crashing. So this is not being shown, but let's fix it. I will fix it, no problem. It's undefined, that's the problem. So that's why this is not working. Yes. So why is that? We shall see it here. So storage. You can do this inside over here, because this is a token. I think this is okay. Oh my. What's the problem? Let me delete this to see if we see any improvement. Still the same problem. I wonder what's the problem. Okay, the problem was, oops. Yes, this is the problem. If it's empty, it gives me a lot of problems. So let's validate that. It's trying to parse an empty string and gives us all kinds of errors. Okay. Logging. And let's try this again. Why is it undefined? Maybe I'm not saving it into the... Let's see. I'm going to delete that. Wow, it's not even giving us that. Oh, sorry. This is lowercase alert. It's fine there. Let user. Oh. I get it. It's just like this. Yes, I get it. I'm saving the logging. This is the problem over here. I'm going to fix this. I'm going to fix this by, instead of saving the logging, saving the object completely. So JSON dot stringify response. Yes. So this is the problem. So I'm fixing it now. And I log in. Instead of saving just the username, I'm going to save the complete object. So that way it's not going to give us a problem. I think this is going to work now. Oh, sorry. I had to reload. Admin. Now it works. I think now it works, I think. Yes, now it works. still giving me another problem, but I think it's better now. Where is that problem? I don't know. Cannot read property token of undefined. So let's try this again and check if token is okay. You don't need to alert this, we need to alert now the token. So we fixed the user, now we're going to fix the token. We have a problem with the token, so let's check this out. The token is fine. Cannot read property token of undefined. Where would that be? I don't know where it is. Maybe. Oh, I see. I think it's in this part over here. It's here. Yes, this is the problem. Right now it's not giving the error, so I think it's okay. Perfect. Oh, how cool is that? It gave us the exact screen. Okay, instead of description, I think this is home. And the item, okay, we have the recipe object, and it's not text but recipe. Item dot description, sorry. So it gives us, how cool is that? So maybe we can truncate that because it's too big. But yes, we have now the enchiladas recipe over here. City, Mexico. So what do we do now? Let's create another recipe to see if the app receives it. So let's call it Pabellón Criollo. Let's check that out. Let's see if we can get one with an image. This one, perfect. Okay, here it is. Pretty good. Let's copy this. Let's go to the backend, select this image, paste this description, city Caracas, Venezuela. We can add the city and country. It was created by Pedrito. And if we reload the app over here, and we get the Pabellón Criollo we created in the database. Awesome. How cool is that? Arroz blanco, etc. And let's also add the country of Mexico as well. Mexico, Mexico. And now we are going to create new recipes from the app. So if we click here, we can create new apps. So let's do that. To be able to do that, we need to also change this text for description, but we can do that later when we create the function. Well, let's do it just now. Okay, new recipe, and we go over here into save, and instead of text we add description. We also need to change this because this is a good practice to use the same variables for everything, because if we don't do that, we have a mess of different variables, and we need consistency in the names of the variables and properties of our entities, so we don't have any problems. Over here, sometimes it's annoying, it takes time, but I assure you the time and effort you do over here changing this variable is going to save you a lot of time and a lot of headaches in the future. It's a good practice. So we have 2 recipes over here. We're going to create another one, and for that we are going over our singleton object over here, and in this save recipe function we already had, we're going to add something like this, but we're going to change it. Okay, we had some initializations over here that we don't need to do. For example, we can delete this we can also copy this and add it over here, so we can whenever we call this function of getAllRecipes, we also initialize this all recipes list we have in our object. And with that, we're not going to do a get function, but a post function. I'm going to show you that in the backend. Recipe resource and new recipe. This is over here. It's called create recipe. So as you can see, the link is API/recipes, but this is a post service. So we're going to change that. Instead of this method get, we're going to set it to post, right? And it also has a payload. I think it's, let me see, I have an example over here that I'm going to copy it. A body. So we add here a body, oops, and it's going to have the recipe information that we can copy from here. And it's going to be recipe dot title, recipe dot image, recipe dot description, and finally recipe dot coordinates. Oh, I need to change this city, this variable as well. Let's change it to make it all all standard and good. New recipe, city. Instead of coordinates, it's going to be city. Oh, let's just change this all. Sorry, set coordinates. Not too many. In here, in the last thing, we're going to a city. Oops. Perfect. And over here, since we added all the information, we're going to receive a response. It's going to be true or false, or some errors as well. So we're going to manage that too. So let's try it. Let's try to save a new recipe to see if it works. Recipe. Let's see a new recipe. For example, if someone in chat have a recommendation for a recipe, we can search. Let's see, hamburger recipe. Best hamburger patty recipe. Delicious. Let's check it. Okay, here it is. Best hamburger patty recipe. Let's add. Oh, we have this problem with the images over here, but no problem. Oh, you gave us an error. Oh my. No error. It's fine. There's no loading over here. Let's see. Some kind of error. Let's check this out for a bit. New recipe. Image taking. Base 64. Image. Let's see if this image is actually here or if it's not empty. I like to fix errors. Let's fix this. We have to reload. It's kind of weird. Let's restart the app. Sometimes we have to restart the app. It crashed. Yes. The development environment sometimes can give some quirks and glitches, but no problem. You just reload it and you're good to go. So let's get another recipe. Upload one over here. It's crashing. Maybe this alert is giving problems, so let's do it again. Okay, it's fine. It didn't have any error, so I just had to delete reload the app. No problem. Okay, best hamburger patty recipe. And we're going to check some images, maybe from the net. Let's hamburger recipe. So we can take a picture of this. How do you take a picture? Oh well, let's just copy this. Copy. Just paste it over here. City is okay. So let's try to save this. Awesome, it worked. How cool is that? Create recipe. Successful. And it has an output, request to save recipe. Let me zoom. Well, we can't zoom, but it created it. Let's check it out in our backend if it worked. So over here, hamburger recipe. Okay, the image was not saved, but it's almost there. It created it. How cool is that? Pretty nice. I think I know how to change what we saved. We can improve it, because this over here, I don't think it's okay for the server, so we have to parse it, or at least fix it so the server saves it in a good way. So let's do that. So big. Okay. Oh, okay. We need to save the image content type. Perfect. Let's do that. So to do that, we need to go over here. Let me see if I have an image content type. Base 64, base 64, sorry. This is what we need. And we can add it directly to the connection. And in image, we say here image content type, and we add this. Oops, this over here. So that way, the server is able to save it and show it correctly. Because if we go over here, I think let's reload. The recipe is going to be here fine, but we need to also show it correctly in our server, so let's delete it. Let's delete this, and let's add another one. Let's create another one. Best hamburger patty recipe. We got the image. Let's reload, because sometimes I need to reload this app so it doesn't give any problems. Let's reload it. Okay, best hamburger patty recipe. Let's take a picture. For some reason it's failing. I don't know why. No, it didn't fail, sorry, my bad. It's okay. And we're going to also paste this again. Oh, right. Let's copy it again from this place, in this web page over here. Oh my. Oh my, I went all the way to the top. Let's copy that, no problem. No! Well, let's do that again. Copy. Go back to our precious app. Paste it. And finally, we're going to save it. And it's saved. Awesome. Let's see over here if it's saved in the server. And it is. But the image did not save successfully. So let's check the database. Let's check why. Global recipes. Tables. Recipe. Let's check all rows. And here it's not saving the thing we needed to save. Image content type. Let's see. Image content type. Oh, image content type. Sorry guys, it was a bad typo. So let's change it again. And let's save another one. Let's delete the last one. And let's try again. The best patty recipe. Burger patty recipe. Okay. Ingredients we have already in our clipboard, the copy thing. Save it. And hopefully this time it works. No, it didn't. Oh, I didn't reload the app. I need to reload the app. Sorry about that, guys. Sometimes I don't have to reload the app because the screen files automatically update the app, but the singleton file didn't. So let's do it. Burger recipe. It's working fine. I think this time has to work. This time, guys. And it does. Some problems, but it does. Maybe if we change this into JPEG. Let's check this out again. Oh, okay. We don't have to save all this big string, but just the image.png. Okay, let's do that. No problem. Let's do that. So we have to do this one more time, no problem. So let's delete this again, and this time I'm certain it will work. So let's do this instead of all this, just image.png. Perfect. Let's reload the app and create another recipe. The absolute best burger patty recipe, bro. Let's take this picture. It's fine. Oh, sorry. Just add this. Well, we can edit it in the backend, no problem. Well, let's copy it. Let's copy it really quickly. Let's copy it. Copy. Good. Saved it. For some reason it's not updating over here, but we can fix that later. This is the last recipe, the absolute best burger patty recipe, bro. And let's check it here in the backend. And finally, you can see the image over here. Perfect. Now you can see it from the cell phone to the backend. Pretty cool, huh? And what else can we do? Okay, perfect. Now this is cool. As you can see, we haven't added the user over here. So this creator, this recipe has no creator. So we're going to fix that, and we're going to do that from the backend. So how do we do that in the backend? We'll check that right after a small break. So be right back. So we're back, and now we're going to automatically assign a user to a recipe. So to do that, we're going to go back to our backend over here, And in this place where we call create recipe, before saving it to the database, we're going to assign the user. So I think we can add a principal. Yes, principal. So when we have a request, we can use this object to get the user which made the request. So I think to out. Oh no, we can let's extract the username. I think we can extract the username. Principal dot get name. Yes, get name. And then, obtaining the name, we can get all the information from the database to get the user. So we get the current repository over here. We can call the user repository. Let's make this a bit better so we can read it. Oops, perfect. This is going to give us an error because of the testing, so I can fix that quickly over here. I think it's been a while since I've edited this. I think it's with this. Let's check it. I don't know. If I get too many troubles with the recipe, I prefer to delete it for now to avoid those kind of problems. Oh, it didn't give any errors. Awesome. Cool. Oh, sorry. It did give us an error. Yes, it gave us an error, but I will delete it for now so that we can regenerate it, because we don't have much time for that just now. So let's run it again. Because the testing files create an instance of this service, and since we changed the constructor, it's going to fail. But I'll regenerate later. Okay, it's running, and we want now to go over here again in our resource, and since we have already this repository, we can use it for our user. So we create a user equals user repository dot find one by login, and you use this username we got. So we import this. It's an optional. I'm doing so bad practices over here, but I'm in a hurry. So after we get the user, we set creator, the user we just found. So basically, Let's do a quick overview of what we just did. We added this object here called principal. With that object, we can get the username who is logged in making this request. So each user that creates a recipe is going to be different. So if user admin creates the recipe, this variable over here will have the username admin. If Pedrito creates a new recipe, this string over here is going to be Pedrito. Then we're going to go to the database and get all the information of Pedrito, and it's going to give us the ID, the email, everything. We set this recipes creator to that object, so this Pedrito is going to be the creator of this recipe, and finally we save the recipe. So let's run it. Let's run that. Let's run this. I think there's another way. I think with the user we can get the let me see over here. There are many ways to do that same the same thing. Yes, we have. Yeah, we have one. Oh no. There are many ways to do that. The one I'm using is one of the ways. So let's do this. Let's create another recipe called fried eggs recipe. So we take a picture of our fried eggs. In this case, it's just a screen. We write here, you take egg and fry. Very good. And when we save it, we should have the username. Let's check it out. And we have the username, admin. Very good. So if we do this, if we log out, over here, and if we use user, then we're logged in as the user. This is the user, another user, right? And if we create another recipe called, I don't know, boiled egg recipe, take a picture of our boiled eggs, then we write over here the recipe, you take egg and boil in water. And when we save it, we reload over here, and you can see the user, the creator is now the user. And we can also edit this to add it to the admin, because in the previous time we didn't do it. Oh, also we need to add the date, because we're not adding it. So to do that, we need to do this over here. To go to our recipe resource again, and to our recipe, set date, set creation date. We can do this on datetime dot now, and it's going to give you the exact time when you are saving it. So let's just try it very quickly. This is not a difficult thing to do, but we can test it. We're going to do now another egg recipe, like eggs Benedict recipe. That will be the next test. Eggs Benedict recipe. And let's take another picture just in case. We're not resetting it, but maybe that's giving us problem. So let's reload this. Okay. Eggs Benedict. Benedict, sorry. Benedict recipe. So we take a picture of our eggs Benedict over here with the camera, and we express how we create it. You take egg and Benedict it. Very good. And with that we save it, and we should have a timestamp as well. Yes. So we get the time, the user, and this recipe. So what's next? Now, if we click over here, our user, we're seeing everyone's recipes. So in this case, I want to show only the recipes for this user. So how do we do that? Well, it's pretty simple to do. What we have to do is copy over here the get all recipes function, copy that completely in our services folder, and instead of calling this get all recipes, we're going to call get all user recipes. Right? Then we change the link as well. We say instead of recipes, we say user, and then we say, oops, sorry, I don't know even what I did, but we create a new link, and it's going to be recipes / user / the ID of the user. So we're going to add, instead of params, we're going to add another parameter that's going to be called required false, required true, default value nothing. I'm going to add the default value, but what we're basically doing is adding a new parameter called the ID of the user. So if we want all the recipes of the user 1, we add a 1 over there. So it's going to be long user ID. So this is a new parameter from the request get, from the get request, that's going to be called user ID, or just call it ID. And after that, we, instead of finding everything, let's delete this. We just use this. So we're going to, instead of finding every recipe with this find all, we're going to create a new one that's going to be called find all user, no, sorry, find by user underscore login. So what we basically, sorry, user login, no, ID. So what does this mean? Recipe over here has, oh, it's not user, sorry, it's creator. This creator is the user that is going to be the reference for what we are searching for. So instead of user, we add here creator underscore ID. Underscore is going to be, if you go to user over here, it has an ID. So it's going to be the property of that object. If we were using the username or the login, we would use login. If we were using, for example, the social security number, we do user creator SSN, for example, or user avatar. So those are the properties of the object. So find by creator ID. So this is not created yet in this object. So if we press Alt Enter and we create the method, so we get find by creator ID. So it's going to find all the recipes by the creator's ID, right? That's basically it. If you have any questions about query methods, which is this kind of doing queries, let me know in the chat or in Slack or our Discord. I have created a Discord server. You can connect there and you can ask any questions over there. So basically, we just created a function that's going to give us all the recipes by the creator's ID. So find by creator ID. And we also need to add, sorry about that, I forgot, to add the ID as a parameter. So let me delete this because I forgot to add the ID. So when you create this, you also need to add the parameter, the ID. And this pageable is an object that lets you parameterize or use some parameters to establish the paging. The paging consists on giving chunks of data. For example, you can divide a huge list of thousands of recipes by pages. Instead of receiving 1,000 pages for one request, which is going to be very, very big, you just get it by pages. So in page 1 you get the first 20, the page 2 you get the second batch of 20 recipes. If you go to the third page, you get the third batch of 20 more pages, recipes on the next page, and so on. So let's create this. So get find by creator ID, and you get the ID and the page which you are getting. So let's run this. Get recipes by user, and to do that in the app, we have to go over here. Instead of getting all recipes, we are going to get all user recipes. So get all recipes, get all user recipes in our front end, and instead of recipes, we're going to do this slash user slash close, and we're going to add an ID as a parameter, and we just paste it over here. And in here, when we get to the profile page, instead of using get all recipes, we get all user recipes, and this user has an ID. So over here we add user.id. So let's check it out. Let's see if it works. Oh, let's restart this server. Oh, it's closed. Okay, let's run it again. No problem. Okay. Okie dokie. Perfect. It's loading. And this is the entire list of recipes. And if we click over here, we will see it's reading all. Let's see. Okay, no, it's getting all recipes again. So let's check why. Maybe I need to reload. Gets all recipes. And over here gets all recipes again, so it's not working. Let's fix that. Oh yeah, right. It's over here. I can do this better, but for now let's leave it like that. So it's giving us an error. It's not finding all the user recipes, so let's try again. Get all recipes. Okay, it's getting all the recipes. Let me delete this because I get confused. Now let's check this. It's not doing anything. Okay. Let's check this out. This is profile. I don't know, maybe I didn't save it. Oh, or maybe it's giving an error. Not found. Okay. Not found. So let's see. So it's not finding the user or the recipes. Let's see. Get all recipes, and over here, not found. Oh, it's a problem with the path. I had to stop the project and rerun it. Sorry guys, my bad. Because in Java you have to if you're not debugging, you have to stop the server and rerun it again, so it accepts the new changes. So I had to do that. My bad. But we're fine. We're doing fine. If we do this and we do this again, now we're finding. Okay. Get all recipes. Parameter ID is not present, so let's debug that. Let's check over here if we are sending the correct information. So let's do a console output, the log, paste that to see if we are doing this correctly. And let's reload as well. And let's go over here. Undefined. So that's the problem. We're not using the user's ID. So maybe we're not saving it. Maybe. Let's see. This user over here should have an ID. So let's check why it's not working properly. Let's see if we are saving it. Yes, we are saving it. And let's print the whole object to see. Let's go to our splash screen and output the object. Let's see if it already has an ID. User, and let's check it out. Oh my. This is too much. Oh, well, let's alert it. Yes, we have an ID. We do have an ID. Maybe I'm doing something wrong. Let's see. Let's go to profile, user, right. We are doing it before we are initializing it, so we better do this correctly. And now we're fine. I think this way is going to work. So let's check it out. And let's see this again over here. Let's reload. Of course, we need to reload here. Still undefined. Let's do this better, man. Okay, now it's working. Use the number 2 first, but then it did something weird. I don't know why. Let's reload. Let's check this again. And it's working now, but it's doing it 2 times. So I don't know what's the problem. Let's see. Global recipes. Get all user recipes. I don't know why it's doing it 2 times. Oh, I know why. Let's do this in a better way, because I'm having some problems, as you can see, and errors. So sometimes it's called this, sometimes it calls this. So let's just do this. Initialize all, and we're going to create that function over here. Initialize all. It's a const. Global recipes init. Boom, perfect. And instead of using this, instead of copying the same code 2 times, we just call that function. Perfect. Let's see if this works now. Awesome, now it works. And maybe I need to add another slash, because this is correct. Let's see over here if this link is working properly. Oh, right, we need authentication. No problem. Let's try adding a slash at the end. Maybe that's the problem. Oh, right, right. Yes, yes, yes. I know what's the problem. I'm doing 2 things wrong over here. This is not a request param, it's another kind of param. I don't remember well. I can do it like this and delete this. and do something better, because I'm mixing two ways of doing it. So ID like this is going to work. I have to delete this. Yes, because I can do this two ways, like this or the other way around, but with request param we can do it just like that. The other one, I forgot the name. It's like, oh, request param, no, it's path variable. It's this. The other one is path variable. We can do both. You just have to define the correct protocol, both for the front end and for the back end. So both use or path variable with this, or request param with this. So those are two ways, and I was mixing it. So sorry about that. Let's see if this works now. It works now, perfect. So these are only users recipes. So we get users recipes and all the recipes over here. So if we create another recipe for user only over here, like users fried potato, users delicious fried potato. So let's get an image of a delicious fried potato. It looks really good, by the way. Let's copy this recipe. We go and select these potatoes. We paste the description. The city is Potato City. Potato Land. Creator is user. And if we go over here and check our own recipes, oh, it's not over here. Why? Oh, this is not user. Who is this? User. This is user. Oh my. Let's check this out. Oh, I put admin. Sorry, my bad. Oh, because I'm logged in as an admin. So let's change and log out and log in as a user. Let's change it in the database, because edit data or rows. Recipe, and in the user, instead of adding the user number 1, we're going to add the user number 2. I think we need to press over here. No, here, save data. Okay, and now it should work. Yes, it works. Delicious fried potato. We had to manually add the user because right now we have in the server this forced user assignment, that every time a user creates a recipe, the user is auto-assigned as the user who's logged in. So we have that forced. And yes, we are successfully showing our users recipes. Let's just make that look better, because I'm having some problems with it's being cut. Save area view. This is the profile, flat list. How weird, huh? Let's just add some margin bottom, or maybe, oh, this is the problem. I don't know why I have this minus 75, but oh, that wasn't the problem. How weird. Maybe if we add, what is this? How weird, huh? Let's see if we add something like that over here. I don't know why it's not showing that correctly, but well, let's add just a view to see. And we also add a height. Get window, oops, not height. Now it's working fine, perfect. And there in the preparation, we need to add here this flat list recipe text. Instead of text, we add here a description. Oops. Oh, and here over here as well. Profile. Oh, over here as well in the home. New recipe 74. Where is that? New recipe. Oh, recipe 74. Over here as well. And with that, I think we're fine. Yes. Cool. So we have our recipes. Boiled egg recipe. You take egg and boil in water. Eggs Benedict recipe. You take egg and Benedict it very good. And finally, user's delicious fried potato. And with that, guys, we're done with this episode. I really enjoyed creating this connection to our newly created backend. You now are able to create not only one app, you can also connect it to a backend and a database. You can now use this information to fill this text over here with the username, and if you change it, you can save it. I hope you liked this episode. I had a really good time creating this application for you, and of course I will share this code in our GitHub. I will put the link to the repository in the description of this video as well, and I hope you enjoy it. And with that, goodbye guys, thanks for joining us, and see you in the next episode. Bye bye.